Hey everybody, welcome to Broken Shifter Podcast, Kentucky. I am here tonight, surprisingly, after a nice 12-hour car journey. I am Herden.
I am Sleepy Carbon.
And I'm an agitated caboose.
So it's going to be a good night. Okay, let's go ahead and get straight into topics here. Justin, I'll let you, you've kind of been doing the stage rundown every week, so if you want to do the stage rundown. That's Carbon, that one, Car Justin, just Darbin, I don't know. Fucking do it.
I Darb. Okay, so we have stage 1, Truex. That's his 12th stage win. Stage 2,
MTJ.
Truex. 13th stage win.
MTJ.
And you'll never guess who won. Truex. That would be.
I think that's the second time
he's
swept them twice now, right? He's the only driver
I don't
to
think
do
so.
that.
Did he sweep?
I think he's the only
I thought
driver
he's
who's
only
done
gotten 2 stage wins like at races, and then always lost the final. And then there was once where he won the final or something. I'd have to go back, I guess, but.
Yeah, I think he's
wrong.
swept it twice. I think he swept it twice.
But then we had
he's got enough
with
stage
Larson.
wins.
Yeah, we had followed up with second place was Larson, third place Elliott, fourth place Hamlin, and fifth place Kyle Busch. Most of the race was an all-out battle. It was mainly between Kyle Busch and Truex. However, Larson and Elliott were sort of showing a little bit on the last lap until we had a little bit of a caution there, but that ended the race.
I'd like to step in on the Larson thing. He came from the back of the pack twice.
Yeah.
And he finished second.
Was it before this race that they showed that video of Larson when he was younger, and he basically was talking or saying how he likes to start at the back so that he can work his way up?
Yeah.
It's proven.
Mm-hmm.
Because anytime he starts out in first, when he starts pole on qualifying, he ends up somewhere way behind.
It's insane what he can do, and it's not just him. Jamie McMurray's running well as well, but it's crazy how fast he was moving through the pack. He gets to the front. I can't remember what happened, whether it was a pit road penalty or something like that, and he had to go to the back of the pack, and then he drove to the front again. And I was like, what the? He should have won that race, if not
he had
for...
the best car, I think.
He failed inspection, fucked himself, got up there, and then fucked himself again.
No.
It's
he
like a
didn't fail
game for
inspection.
him.
He didn't even qualify. There was something wrong with the car or
Yeah,
something like that, so they couldn't qualify.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
didn't
don't
qualify
think
because
he
he failed pre-qualifying inspection.
I thought
He never got out of the
there was
inspection
something
process.
Actually mechanically wrong with the car.
Oh, NASCAR.com said it was they said it was a pre-qualifying failure, and I think they
I only
gave
saw
you
before the
3
race,
passes.
and they were talking about how he didn't qualify
Yeah.
because of an issue. But they didn't specify what it was.
We're definitely finding out who the dominant cars are this year. Hamlin, no, third
This
place.
championship, unless
No,
there's
fourth place.
some,
Excuse me.
yeah, unless there's some sort of dark horse that appears out of the middle of nowhere in the championship, it's very highly likely that it's going to be either Truex or Larson. Those are the 2 biggest contenders right now.
I've got to argue one extra in there. Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is running too well and just.
He's running really
Shit's
well, but
not
he's not
going
getting
as
the
well.
wins. He's not finishing.
No, he doesn't have any wins, but
He's not finishing anything.
on the
starts
cusp of winning.
As of
And
right
then
now,
either falls back
runs
really
up
far
there.
or falls back just a little bit.
the way I see it right now,
But
your
you never
main,
can stay
your
well.
main 4 that are in Miami currently, the way I see it with how everyone's running, Larson, Truex, Busch, and Keselowski. Keselowski, if he can actually put the fucking race together, he runs very well, but he keeps getting fucked or the car's just not running
A
right.
lot of bad luck. A lot about Penske's got some
Were we
problems because they
talking-
haven't had a lot of speed either in the
Was
past
it?
4 or 5 weeks. But yeah, Keselowski, Penske will get their shit figured out.
They always do.
But
Was it us
the other
that
three, I
talked about,
completely agree with.
Was it us that talked about Keselowski being like the... Basically, he drives really well when he's up front, but he drives like crap when he falls back. I feel like we discussed this. It was either we discussed this or I discussed it somewhere else with somebody else. And Logano
It's almost like
the
they've
one
done
who's the
a,
opposite. He sucks in the front, but he's really good moving up the pack.
It feels like they've almost done an adjustment on the Penske chassis, and something's not clicking like it was because they were always. I mean, it's not that they weren't fast at plate tracks. The intermediates and stuff like that, their grip through the turn was insane. Hendrick cars would be outpowering them at Michigan and Pocono and stuff like that, Daytona, but they'd go to intermediates and short tracks, and the Penske cars just had so much freaking ass grip, and it seems like that's fallen off.
Now,
Yeah.
to be fair, Keselowski did make a major error in the beginning of stage 2. So how his car was going to be in the end of the race, who knows? But he basically
Tired of not
didn't
being
let
up
off the
front.
gas enough to go into the turn. Got into Boyer, spun him. He took himself out. He also managed to take Jimmy out, who was trying to avoid. Jimmy hit the wall. I think he hit Keselowski as well.
Jimmy hit the wall.
but-
3 major contenders.
I don't.
Keselowski was full on, this is my fault. I did this. Don't blame anyone else kind of mode right after that happened.
Well, at least he takes up for his fucking mistake. And he knew he overdrove it.
Accomplished.
Yeah. No, he'll blame it on Goodyear. All right, so
Pretty much.
Jamie McMurray's aggressiveness and ran well.
He is going to win a race this season. Calling it now.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt.
I'm putting my money on a plate track.
I don't.
well,
I
there's
put my
only
money
one
on
left.
somewhere else.
I think he's going to get one, and he's good at short track racing. I'm thinking Martinsville because he has
He was fast at
raced very
Martinsville
well
last
at
year.
Martinsville.
Gordon barely
Yeah,
snipped
I think
away,
he can
but
win that race. I think he can get it.
He reminds me of Chase Elliott's driving style, current driving style now. Like Chase Elliott kind of went into that aggressive tone, and where Elliott doesn't really take care of the car though, quite as much. Where McMurray does.
He's still learning though. McMurray's been doing
McMurray,
it for
okay, I shouldn't say McMurray takes
over
care of the car,
10
'cause
years.
His car is usually damaged pretty heavily by the end, and still somehow in the top 10. Like Daytona, for example.
It's precisely
McMurray knows what he's
damaged.
doing.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
he's
believe it or not,
perfectly damaging the vehicle to where it doesn't lose an aerodynamic issues.
He lost his job at Hendrick in the 25 car, I believe. I think I'm right. Well, Casey Mears lost that too. I think McMurray was with Hendrick.
Casey Kane's about to lose his first job.
Yeah, Casey Kane's. We'll get to the drivers about to lose their fucking role at their race team, but yeah, McMurray is on the cusp of getting something. I think it'll be the short track. I don't think it'd be Richmond though. So we already talked about
like to see more- I think it's gonna be
Keselowski
more like-
taking out.
It's gonna be something that you can get down on the apron with, I think. Because he's really
Could
good
be a
down
Phoenix.
low.
Might be Phoenix.
Like, I mean, look what he did on Charlotte. Or, not Charlotte.
Phoenix, you can cut the apron.
Look what he did at Kentucky, though, this weekend. He's, like, right off the bat, he ducked it down on the apron. And
Pissed off everybody.
On all that bumpy crap. Yeah, came back up and door checked Hamlin. That was hilarious.
And somebody can double check me on this. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think he's about 6 in points. So he's had a very fucking strong year. And it's been a long time since McMurray's had a strong year.
Top 5 quite a bit. Top 10 really often.
He's, I mean,
can't
he's
think
keeping
of
up.
too many times.
Ganassi is kicking ass.
He's falling
Ganassi's
back.
got it going on. So, who would like to talk about Kurt Busch blowing up?
Yeah, it's not abnormal. There's occasionally there's a lemon. Now, granted, with today's technology, it's a little bit more rare, but it's just one of those things that happens. Like the engines now are built so great with such high tolerances, but there will be a lemon. Perfect example with Kevin Harvick back at Pocono. Uh, um, he downshifted going. Trying to remember. He was trying to go from third to fourth, but he ended up downshifting from third to second. And
That was Dale Jr.
Dale Jr. did that too, but Harvick also did it, but he managed to catch himself.
Oh yeah, and the car lasted forever.
The car
it went
lasted.
To the end of the race. He finished second.
He was competitive. He was a first place contender car, and yet it kept going. But then we do have the
he over revved the engines to holy hell.
Mm-hmm. He had no more piston
Well,
rings.
you know what?
Just about.
They said there was like bent valves, burnt pistons, everything in there, and he still finished second fucking place. But we will say one thing: the engines in NASCAR are great. Apparently, the windshields aren't.
That was the weirdest thing. Like how the bolts just unscrewed themselves on both sides. Like how does it?
Wait.
I don't know how that happens. Oh, you didn't see in the race?
Jr.'s windshield
Unscrewed itself.
All right.
both of the
It was literally
both of the
they showed the
bottom
roof
bolts
cam.
unscrewed themselves.
Yeah, they showed
And
the
Dale
roof
Jr.
cam, and you
had
could
been
see the
bitching on the
bolt.
radio.
You could see the bolts coming off, and like the left one came off, and it actually unscrewed itself off. And then all of a sudden, you see the right one do the same thing, and they didn't know what was going on because Dale just goes,
Except for
"Why
Dale
is-"
Jr.
Well, he
30
knew the
minutes
thing was
earlier
shaking, but I don't
saying
think he knew the screws like
he
did that. That was the weirdest thing.
He said he was like the windshield was moving 4 to 5 inches at a time. He's like, normally I look off into the corner before I get there. He's like, I couldn't see what the hell was going on. The windshield was moving back and forth the whole time.
By the way, I should
That was the
probably
weirdest
note
thing
the
to see.
viewers that I only caught like the last 30, 40 laps. So yeah, but no, this is bit news to me.
Yeah.
So strange. Even the
they-
announcers were like,
they looked at the
just
car.
dead silent for a second, going, "What's going on here?"
Mike Davis, who is one of the guys at Junior Motorsports, he was talking about it. He said maybe more than just those two screws that the camera on TV, his in-car cam, caught coming out of the windshield were off of there. It's like the whole windshield was coming off. And Junior
Dale
came back
Jr.
and said, he was like, I thought the windshield was going to fly off the car. And I was at the Dale Jr. download today, and he was legitimately concerned that Dirty Mo Radio, not a plug, but
That would do a lot of damage.
Sponsor us if you want. Yeah, he was like, the windshield was going to come off the car. I knew it was. And then 30 minutes later, the screws start falling out of it.
Are they allowed spare windshields?
Yeah,
Is that a repairable
seriously.
thing where you can go in, pull in, grab a new windshield, and go?
For once, he wasn't in an accident. The goddamn windshield starts coming off
Well, I'll
the car.
tell
He
you
has
what, though,
the
with
worst
the
luck. His car is falling apart. I swear somebody is messing with him. The
Somebody
wheel
is.
spacer, the windshield,
Yeah.
the downshifting. Like, what the hell is going on? Somebody is messing with it. Is his dad here? Is he just like, I'm just going to fuck with him on his last season?
I mean, god damn,
I can tell
man.
you what, though, at least the car was cooling off on the inside.
What if that fucking windshield flew off?
Then it would be
I mean,
nice
I
and
don't know
cool
how
on
many
the
screws
inside.
it's got in it. If the windshield flew off on the front stretch and flew into the stands, it would hurt somebody. Them windshields are not
Almost.
heavy. They're made out of Lexan, as far as I know. They're not glass or anything like that, but they're still heavy, and it'll hurt if it comes and fucking hits you
I mean,
in the
either
face
that or if
at
somebody runs it
170
over.
miles an hour.
Could you imagine? Like, those things are curved. They're going to stay curved. So when somebody hits it
Yeah, somebody.
with their
yeah,
low
they're
slung
gonna
cars,
lose it.
it's going to bounce the car, more than likely. I'd imagine it'll still break the
fucking
windshield.
crazy-
But
I
it would
have
cause some
never
damage.
I have never seen in my life the windshield start coming loose.
Because
It's
you
like
really
he had-
need to go see that video. It was
Apparently.
so strange. I
he
completely forgot about this when he
had
brought it up.
so many issues in the past couple of years. Broken shifters, broken transmissions, engines blowing up, the tires being wrong, no, loose lug nuts, loose wheels, and no wheel spacer. I'm like, what? There is somebody at Hendrick hates him.
So what Junior needs to do then is next time he comes down pit road to try to break the curves, he needs to undo the window net while driving down pit road, grab a rag, freaking hang half of his body out the car and clean his own fucking windshield and see if that helps.
Or no, he needs to get a fucking goddamn screwdriver and fucking put the bolts back in
That's
place.
what he was
Well,
doing
he's in
2
the pit
years
crew.
ago. That's why this fucking podcast is called the Broken Shift Podcast. They gave him fucking clamps to hold the damn thing together.
He's not a fucking race car driver anymore. He's a goddamn in-car mechanic.
This is when it pays to know your own fucking car.
But no, it was funny though because
I mean,
the pit
it's
crew, the
ridiculous.
guy walked up, and he's sitting there pushing on the windshield. Like he has no idea what's going on. He's like, "Why is this thing
The
moving?"
screws just sitting there jiggling.
Yes. Somebody get some
It was
fucking
right
shot
on the
that
fucking
son of a
cam.
bitch.
Yeah. Anyway,
Fucking
so
Gorilla glued that bitch.
the whole thing that we were talking about originally before this conversation was Kurt Busch blew his motor with only like a few laps to go. It was only, I think it was within the last 3 or 5.
It was
or, I
like
don't know, somewhere in
half a
that range.
lap before
It was near the end.
white flag.
Yeah, something like that. Truex wasn't happy.
I don't blame him. What do you have? 15-second lead, 16-second lead.
Half a lap
Something
lead
like
on both the Kyles.
And then,
And well, the thing is Truex had lapped most of the field, so he only had a half a lap to get to the white flag. And Dale Jr. was pissed. He was like, "Why'd they throw the fucking caution? Just because everybody else is a lap down, it doesn't matter. As soon as they cross the start-finish line, once he hits the checkered, the race is gonna end. This is stupid." Kurt Busch blew up, got off the track, and guess what? They came out under caution, and they didn't put any speedy dry anywhere
didn't.
near where the car had blown up.
They
It was phantom caution.
No,
they didn't.
There was speedy dry on the track, just not oodles
That was
of
old
like we're
speedy
used
dry,
to.
but that wasn't. That was not from Kurt Busch. They blatantly said it today. There was no speedy dry on the track. They didn't come out. They did not bring the speedy dry truck out.
So what you're telling me then is it's a conspiracy, and one of us needs to get our tinfoil hats out.
maybe NASCAR knows everybody was bored watching Truex, and so they were like, "Let's make this interesting."
But the thing is, he stayed out on old tires, took the gamble, because if you stay out,
Well, yeah.
you're going to maintain the lead, but you're fucked. If you go in, you're going to go back to about 20th place, and you're fucked. He stayed out, still fucking won it.
Well, the
Talk
giant
about
push.
a dominant goddamn car.
Only.
Well, the giant push.
I would
from
say
Larson.
only because of probably one of the most up in the air things right now. Like a big argument amongst the NASCAR community is this whole overtime / ending on caution issue. The last lap, Kenseth spun. This is after they were in the white flag. Spun, hitting Suarez and Austin Dillon. Truex ended up winning because a caution was called. So, that's race over. They cautioned to the end.
Yeah.
And it's still like a major thing right now going on that there's like groups who are like, "Oh yeah, we love this." And then there's other people who are like, "We hate this. Frickin' finish the race." Which
There
I'm
is
kind
a
of
reason for that.
on the fence right now. I understand the reasoning for it, but at the same time, I would like to see them
Okay.
actually finish the damn race.
Okay,
One lap
well,
shootout or something.
Carbon, you are a newer NASCAR fan. So, the reason why this happened is 80s, 90s, and stuff like that. When a caution would come out with one to go or something like that, they would race full speed back to the green flag with the cars wrecked on the track. That was it.
Yeah.
They
I
just
understand
kept
that.
racing, and so many horrible wrecks happened because of it. So they were like,
Yeah,
we
that
got to
shouldn't be a
promote
thing. It should be
safety
called a
and stuff like
caution.
that.
But I think then they should restart and have a one lap shootout.
That's why they put in that damn line and they've complicated it so
They
much.
said they're
but
moving
they
the
have,
overtime line though to the start line next year. They've already confirmed
that's
that.
probably a better idea. Probably a better idea. I would say so, but that's the reason why, because people would race around the track and there'd be wrecked cars everywhere, and you come around the track and you can't even get through. You're leading the race. You got a 10-second lead, and you're just like, I got nowhere to go. What are you gonna do? Run into a car and hope you get across the finish line? Kill yourself? No. So that's why it happens. But the caution has to be called for something legitimate, a big wreck or something, not somebody having blown a motor, or especially that's gotten off the track. So,
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I guess you can take over this next part. You wanted to talk about the last lap with Kenseth and Suarez, Dillon.
Just did.
Oh, you
That's what we were
didn't
talking
mention any names, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenseth
so-
spun it,
that's all right.
hitting Suarez and Austin Dillon and caused the caution to come out.
All right, so we're going to do a little Dale Jr. segment here where I went down to Mooresville, North Carolina today. I took a 6-hour drive, watched the Dale Jr. download, and
Dirty Mo Radio.
got overheated and, Dirty Mo Radio. Almost had a heat stroke. And after it was over, got to meet Dale Jr., got some autographs, got a picture with him and everything like that. And it was a great podcast. I have learned that the Dale Jr. download at an it's hour and 11 minutes long that they've posted from where I was down there. They were talking for 2.5 hours. So that podcast is a lot longer in person. I'd highly recommend going down there, and their shop is great. You can go in there. Their shirts are almost... You can find discounted shirts everywhere. Everything's on sale in that store. It's always on sale.
Can't find a
And
large
it's
though.
great. You can't find... Yeah, I couldn't find a large for a shirt I wanted. But, no, I brought my stuff down there to get autographed and everything like that. I met Dale Jr. and everything like that. Really funny guy. Really cool shit. I guess the editors cut a lot of the sarcasm and stuff out of the podcast. And Dale Jr. talks on the podcast like he does on his radio. There's a lot of F-bombs and shits and dams and asses and bitch and stuff like that. And it was really funny. It was great in person. If you ever get down towards Mooresville, have fun driving the back roads to get to it. You can pass some other race shops on the way in. Don't go to Kyle Busch Motorsports. Nobody wants to go there.
Actually, in fact, if you decide to drive by there, make sure you show him a special little bird or two.
Yeah,
I
but-
heard he loves birds.
Maybe toilet
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah, but Martin
Strawberry.
Truex Racing,
Kleenex.
Casey
Bring
Kane
Kleenex.
Racing. There's so
Kyle
much
Busch.
down there to do, and the shops are open to the public and stuff like that. If you go down there on a Tuesday, 8 a.m. in the morning, look up the address for Junior Motorsports. Go down there, check it out. It was really freaking cool. It was a great experience. I finally, after 20 years of rooting for Dale Jr., got to meet him, and one of the nicest guys on the planet. I loved it. Definitely, if you get a chance, take a trip, especially if you live in Carolina. But he had a couple of gripes and complaints, and I will ask you two what you think about it. His first gripe and complaint, he got on this right away. The tire dragging. They drag these huge tires around the track to provide grip on the surface, especially on newly repaved tracks. And him and a bunch of the other drivers are really mad that they're just dragging the tires around the groove, the main groove, the racing groove. And Dale Jr.'s like, put it in the other grooves and leave the main groove that everybody's going to wind up racing alone. The cars will rubber it in through the race. Might start at the top or start at the bottom and then move into the middle groove. But do it that way. And it'll make stuff a lot better. That way you got 3 racing lanes, more competitive racing. And the other drivers want that too. And NASCAR is refusing to listen to them. And I think it's a good damn idea. Make 3 grooves. Rubber in the top, rubber in the bottom, and leave the middle groove at New Hampshire. Because that's the groove they're going to run. Opinions.
I 100% agree. They need to. NASCAR's motto as of late is, how do we make this more interesting? How do we make the racing more interesting? How do we make the race more interesting? How do we get... Fucking make them race where they don't normally race. Make them race where they're uncomfortable but still safe. They'll gradually get back to where they normally race. But as for early on racing, which is why we have stage racing, drag that bitch other places.
It's who's got the balls to do it.
Because we all know a well rubbered in track, a car will stay damn near anywhere within reason. Just the thing is, it's got to be
Justin,
rubbered
what do you
in.
think?
Well, one of my biggest gripes about NASCAR Heat Evolution is the fact
Single.
that it feels like there's only one lane you can run, especially Talladega and Daytona.
Right.
They didn't do the mid lane and high lanes very well. Maybe, I guess, if you tune the car properly, possibly, but you're never going to get that speed. And it's... So I can completely understand where they're coming from. They want more lanes to run on. They want more passing. This isn't Formula 1 where you get 3 passes in an entire race, and most of those are from crashes.
And then you end up getting a trophy.
They definitely need to do
for 10
something
passes an entire
to
season.
make things more interesting.
You
Give people
think
better
if you
lines,
rubbered in...
better setups, anywhere they
Yeah.
want to, be more interesting.
If you rubbered in the top of Michigan, left the bottom alone, and left the middle alone, people would actually take a shot at running the top lane until the other 2 lanes got rubbered in. And guess what? They'd be faster until those other 2 lanes got rubbered in. And then guess what? Everybody's going to those lanes. It's a perfectly... And apparently Denny Hamlin's the one leading this charge. Apparently he's hot about it. And Dale Jr. didn't seem very happy about it today. But it's a great idea. And his other big gripe was take the splitters off the car. He was like, we got splitters bouncing up and down off the ground for no reason. And the splitters were supposed to be strictly for the winged cars with the car of tomorrow. And they never got rid of them. He was like, it's ridiculous, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because then it makes the driver actually drive.
But at the same time, you do got to add in that they have to allow the mechanics to do more things to the cars. Because they are fairly restricted on what they can and can't do under the hood and within the chassis area.
Yeah, but haven't they just banned basically any adjustments you can do to the splitter? It's basically, well, it has to be flat across the entire bottom now.
Yeah, then no curving or anything like
after
that.
whole issue with Denny Hamlin. I think it was Hamlin.
And like he said, he was like, if you go to a track and your splitter isn't bouncing off the ground, your car's too high. It's not low enough. You're not gonna get the grip. He was like, take it off of it. Get them off of there. He was like, it was meant for the car tomorrow. It's not meant for these cars. If you take it off, the racing will improve. And he's completely right. The dude is.
Here's the thing.
He is probably one of
Dale
the smartest
Jr.
drivers
is
in the
a
world.
driver. These NASCAR executives and the ones making the rules, they're not drivers. Or likely, at least. I don't think they are. At least I don't really know specifics, but
Wow. They're pushing for it.
they're
And
not
like
current
he
drivers.
said in the like he said during the podcast, he said, "Hey, these cars aren't stock cars." He was like, "They're modified stock cars." He was like, "They're not all the same." They also did bring up a good point about IROC racing, which I don't think made it into the podcast. That's how NASCAR should be. Everybody needs to be in the same exact car.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've always had a problem with is it's almost too much about the engineers and not about the drivers anymore.
You know what? We should just
But
go back to the
anyways,
car
yeah.
from 2001 and 2002 area and just call it good.
I mean, and that's what Junior
Might have
wants.
a few more deaths.
No, we
That's what he
keep the
wants.
safety aspects, but everything else, put it back. Put it back where you found it.
So, anyways, it was a really good trip down there. Like I said, go check it out. I also
And yeah.
saw William Byron down there, who has won 2 of the last 3 Xfinity races. So that was really cool. And
I am editing
I mean,
this podcast.
Dale
and I'm
Jr.'s
gonna have all the pictures, pretty much scrolling
Yeah.
back and forth on this segment. So
absolutely, that's going to go in there. And
one with the
you
very
get to see the
dusty
race
Wrangler car.
cars. Yeah, his Daytona Subway Jalapeno 250 that he won when he ran the number 3 Wrangler in honor of his dad. Can't remember the year. It was 2012 or something like that. It is in the garage there, right in front of the window. You can see it up close and personal, and nobody's allowed to touch it or dust it. It's just covered in dust.
They will know
It's pretty
if
cool,
you
though.
touched it.
Well, you can't touch it through the glass. But
Oh, it's behind glass? I
anyways,
thought it was
yeah,
just
William
me.
Byron was down at the shop. No, it was right next to me, next to the glass. But the staff there is really friendly and all that stuff. But enough about the junior trip and stuff like that.
Showboating.
No, I'm not showboating because I paid for it. Because like I said, I almost had a heat stroke today, and I mean I was in bad shape.
Yeah.
But that's beyond the
Fun,
point.
fun. why you have air
We want to talk about
Wait.
yeah, we'll talk
Let's-
about Eric
let's
Jones
see.
going
Let's
to
like-
the 20.
Okay. Never mind.
Go ahead, finish up.
Never mind. you
No,
you already
go,
took it away
go.
from me, so-
Go.
Let's get up.
Go.
Let's get
Oh,
up to
okay.
date on the news. Joey Logano and
Uh-huh.
Kevin Harvick, they're both having kids with their respected wives.
And nobody cares.
And then Eric Jones said
With
a
their
20 car.
respected wives.
Yes. The way I originally worded it is
the
like,
wording.
Yeah, that's what we wanna talk
wait
about.
a minute. That doesn't sound
We
right.
want to talk about Eric Jones going to the 20.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Jones to 20.
Yeah, Eric Jones said a
Make
20
me
car.
Where's Matt Kenseth going?
Interesting, but okay.
So,
I want opinions on it. Where's Matt Kenseth going to land? At a shitty team?
he's too damn expensive. If he gets another ride next year, which he probably will,
Yeah.
I'm gonna imagine it's gonna either be with Roush, and he's gonna get Roush up and going again in full, or he's gonna land a ride with Hendrick.
I got 3 options on this one. The 88, the 5, or the 10. Casey Kane's done. Danica's done. Dale Jr.'s retiring. Them 3 are gone. They might find rides somewhere else. Not Dale Jr. necessarily, but yeah. Nah, it's 88, the 5, or the 10.
I don't see him going the 88. I don't see him going the 5 either.
I don't see him going to the 5.
I don't think they're... No,
I do
actually, it's
see-
not even possible he's going to the 5, because the 5, I think, is getting dropped, because NASCAR has already confirmed that one car out of the 3 major teams, Stewart-Haas, Hendrick, and JGR, one of those cars is getting dropped from one of those teams.
I think
And it's already been confirmed that the 20 is now is
It
Eric
might
Jones.
be the 10.
And the
Well, there's been
Stewart-Haas is not
speculation of
getting touched.
Hamlin leaving
No,
too.
they've already confirmed Stewart-Haas is not getting touched. They're not changing their number of drivers. So that leaves the 5. That's really the only option
That it does.
they can drop anymore. So I don't think he's
But
going to
then-
the 5.
Where does William Byron go from there, though?
I
Because
don't
he's
know.
coming up to Hendrick.
That's where
He's
I
too
think
damn good.
That's where I think maybe you're right. Maybe Kenseth goes to the 10, and maybe Byron goes to the 88.
Or they might be retiring
They're not
the
getting the
88.
88 up.
It's tough.
They're not retiring.
Bowman's
the
not
88.
going to
They've
get
already
it.
confirmed they're not going
He,
to.
Okay.
Bowman's not going to get the 88. He's not going to get it. It'll either
I don't
be
think so
Byron
either.
or it'll be Byron.
Those are my
or
predictions.
Kenseth, I think.
Byron
It'll
to
be,
the 88, and Kenseth to the 10. And they drop the 5.
I don't know. We'll find out when we find out which car's being dropped. I mean, it
The way,
could be a
the way
team
it's
you're
going
not
right
expect-
now, it could
You
be
know
within
what?
the next few weeks.
Was it a 4-car team that's losing a car?
Yep.
Yes. And there's
Okay,
only three
so that
4-car
only
teams.
leaves. Yeah.
Stewart
I
Haas,
was gonna
Hendrick,
say.
and JGR, and JGR's
Hmm.
unless JGR is suddenly dropping like
Ham
Suarez or something like that, and I can't see that happening.
or Suarez. Yeah.
I can't see them dropping Hamlin, Bush, or Suarez. That's not going to happen.
Hamlin's in
bringing
a
lot of
rough
red cars.
scenario right now. Yeah, the thing is, no, that's not necessarily just the problem. His health is not good. His back is giving him a fit.
He's going out the same route Jeff Gordon is. Just health. He can't do it.
I don't know if he's coming back next year. I really don't. And Danica, her sponsorship's gone. She's done. She has not performed except a few times where she did run good. Kansas, I was impressed. I mean, she was running up in third and stuff like that. The road
I'm honestly
courses,
surprised
she's okay.
though, just because I know she's not a great race car driver, but she is a huge person to bring in people from NASCAR.
Mhm, yeah.
Like, that female crowd.
Huge draw.
They support
Huge
her.
draw.
Despite
And
her not
sponsor
ever
draw,
winning.
too. When GoDaddy jumped off the bandwagon, Stuart Haas is like, yeah, you got 1 year.
And then she brought in Nature's Bakery, and that worked out for a minute. Then Nature's Bakery sued Stuart Haas, and that cost them a shitload of money. There was this.
It's toast on Danica. She's gone. Casey Kane's gone too.
Dental Aspen or something like that is what she was.
Kenseth will get a ride.
There was a woman driver in the truck series. She was actually running a Dodge there for a while, even after Dodge left.
Jennifer Jo Cobb.
She ran in the Xfinity series, if I remember correctly. And she was actually running decent.
Yep,
in a
Jennifer
couple
Jo
races.
Cobb.
I want to see her come into the Cup Series because I feel like
She's got that age problem that Matt Kenseth has.
yeah, that she does. But you know what? She can drive a fucking car most of the time.
But she funds her own team. Nobody wants to sign her.
And that sucks.
That's the problem. Yeah, I mean, you got a couple of guys down below looking to get up. Bowman deserves a ride, but with the way William Byron's driving, he's going to be the one that gets it.
Yep.
Maybe it's time to drop Casey Kane, the 5 car, and possibly the 11 car, and bring in a new team. 2-car team.
That'd be a weird combination of Gibbs and Hendrick. I don't know who would fund a 2-car team to start up with 2 great drivers like Bowman and Byron. That'd be great. Don't get me wrong. Bringing 2 rookies with a fucking phenomenal team. Who are they going to partner with, though?
It might end up being one of those scenarios, assuming both of them are, they both have an equal shot. Who knows? Maybe we might see them do a half and half deal where Bowman's in for half of the season and then Byron's in for the other half to see how they do.
For what team?
I don't know. Hendrick, they got deep pockets. That much we know. And we also know that the people in charge of getting the sponsorships, they know what the fuck they're doing. So if they they can sign onto a smaller team, bring in an extra car and be like, treat them right, we'll give you good shit. And we'll even help you out with a sponsor.
Well,
deal.
you gotta consider right now Bowman is not getting seat time that he needs.
Nope.
Byron is.
But you also got to remember Bowman. He wasn't really racing all that much when he had to take over for Dale last year when he was out on concussion.
And he dominated Phoenix. He led the majority of the race at Phoenix. The thing is, I don't know if that was a good car or Bowman's ability.
I think it was a mixture of
Bowman's
both.
a good driver.
Because even before that, he was still performing very well. He just got stuck in shit situations.
He's not going into the 88. It's not going to happen. I appreciate it if he did, but I think Hendrick has enough gall to throw Byron in it. But I think Hendrick has enough gall to throw Byron in it. But at the same time, I think Byron's going to wind up in the 5. And I think Kenseth's going to wind up in the freaking 88 with a potential to go to the 10.
You know who else could also possibly make it in, if you want to stick with the junior motorsports route? Who is it that's driving the 7 car? I'm blanking on his name. The moment I hear it, I'll remember.
Allgaier.
Justin Allgaier. He's been performing well.
He's come up to the Cup Series and not performed before. They're not going to bring him back up. They're using him where he's best.
Can I interrupt real quick?
We're running low on time.
We are pushing 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We're past the 40-minute mark now, and we still got to do picks.
All right, that's fine.
So don't want to
Yeah,
interrupt,
let's do
but
picks.
this is turning out to be a lot longer podcast than I anticipated.
Yep. And
Well,
I just
I mean,
finished
and there's nothing wrong with
the
that.
race just
No.
now.
So,
All right, so
Okay,
we're going to wrap this up with some picks.
yep, just quick picks. Caboose, why don't
right.
you start?
I'll go with Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer. I'm going all in. I'm bringing
Okay.
in 2 Fords. And both of them are from the same team.
Okay, Turden?
I'm debating between Kenda and Michael's choice because I said I'd pick one of them, and I
Yeah.
didn't flip my coin. So I'm gonna go with Kenda's pick. I'm gonna go with Kenda, and then for my backup, I guess I go with McMurray.
This is an interesting predicament. Because before this podcast, my plans were Harvick and McMurray. But that kind of takes in one of yours, one of each yours.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, screw it. I'm sticking with him. I'm sticking with Murray. He's getting better and better, I think. And I think the aggression that he showed at Kentucky is going to definitely continue on. Hopefully, if we keep seeing that, that's going to get him closer to a win. So I don't know about it, New Hampshire, but we'll see.
All right, well, I guess that about wraps it up. No final comments.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Boring race, but
Well,
long podcast.
yeah. Well, we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Anyways, this has been the Broken Shifter podcast. As always, I'm Hurton.
I'm Carbon.
And I'm Caboose.
Booyah.
Booyah.
Ah, damn it, both of you now.
Bastard. Fuck you.
Gotcha, bitch.